Hey guys, it's Patience Noah Fuller. And as you've heard, I started a podcast. And before I start bringing other people on this podcast, I wanted to start with my own story, telling you about my own journey as an entrepreneur and how I went about choosing the industry that I chose. And then also tell you about my moments as an entrepreneur, those frustrating moments, those moments that I'm like, yes, I got this. Like, I'm the boss. And in those moments that I feel like, yeah, I am definitely not the boss. What did I get myself into? So those are the moments that I'll be sharing before I start bringing guests on. So if you haven't done so, follow us on Instagram, follow us on LinkedIn, and then follow us on Spotify and YouTube. We're listed on those platforms. Keep track of everything that I will be sharing with you. And then also I will be revealing the guests that I will be bringing for the future so that you too can learn from these wonderful people, because to be an entrepreneur, it is no joke. Okay. Trust me when I say it's no joke, but we're taking it one day at a time. And some of us are thriving. Some people are winning and some people are just starting. So all of us will get there someday. Every large corporation that you're seeing today started off as a small business. So we too, maybe we might be leading some large corporations someday. You just don't know. Oh, and also I'm an insurance agency owner. So follow my business pages, Patience Noah Insurance. And if you need help with your business insurance, auto, home, life insurance, you can give us a call and we will be more than happy to help you out. So let's get started with my story. How did I even get into this? Was I born an entrepreneur? Did I just wake up one day and I'm like, you know what? I got this in me. It's in me. Or did I grow into it? So let's go as early back as I can remember. So I grew up in Liberia. My family, I was born in the city, which is Monrovia. Liberia is on the west coast of Africa. And after I was born, obviously I grew up, and then Liberia experienced the Civil War. I remember my family and I, we had to go to the village for some time to live in the village with my grandmother, who was a farmer. So I remember there was a period that we went to Ivory Coast and we lived in Ivory Coast for a little while. And then we came back to the village. So while we were in the village, I remember my aunt, Auntie Sue, she loved making baked goods, kala, right? Some countries, they call it kala. In Liberia, we call it kala. Some countries call it puff puff, like the Nigerians and the Ghanaians call it bofloats. Every country have their name. Some countries, dumplings, how they call kala. If you have a name that you guys call kala in your country, drop it in the chat. So my aunt would give us these little kala to go and sell. And then she will also give us these baked goods to go and sell as well. Like shortbread and things like that. There was this one incident that I remember. She gave me the whole tray to go and sell one day. One thing about me, I love food. And I used to steal food when I was younger. Because we had a household of all these cousins. So we were always fighting for food. Well, at least in my little mind, we were always fighting for food. I'm sure there was always enough food to go around. But in my little mind, we were always fighting for food. So I remember she gave me these trays to go and sell. And it was market day. Market day was Thursday. So every Thursday, I think it was Thursday, every Thursday, the local villagers will come into our village to come and sell their goods. So she gave me the tray of scala to go sell on market day. So what I did was I went about pinching the kala on the side. So it comes in these round balls, okay? So I pinched all around it. I mean, obviously, who's going to buy the kala that's already pinched? So at the end of the market day, I go home with this whole tray of kala. My aunt was furious. She nearly killed me that day. So as a punishment, she said that I should sit down and eat the entire tray of kala. Now, I love food. So someone punishing me to eat the entire tray, to me, that was the happiest day of my life. I sat there and I ate the whole thing, okay? So when I had a couple more left, she then walked away. And you know what I did? I took the leftover and I hid it. We had this little hut behind where we live as our kitchen. And I think it was suitcase, but there was some large object that was there. So I took the leftover and I went and I hid it behind it. And what I would do, I would come back. I think I must have eaten it probably a couple days after that. I remember going back to go take it and eat it a little more, going back to go eat it a little more. Those were some of my earlier days. When we came to Monrovia, when we moved to Monrovia, I don't remember much of selling on my end or much of my activity when it came to entrepreneurship, but I know we were living around a ton of family members. And when we now came to Monrovia, the entire goal was for us to focus on school and for us to learn and for us to become educated in the future so we can have better lives for ourselves. Now, back in the day, I also transitioned to doing hair, okay? My grandmother used to make me do her hair all the time. She had these golden white hair and she used to make me do her hair all the time. So that's how I also learned how to braid from back in those days. And then we ended up transitioning to the US. We moved to the US and those skills came into play. Subscribe so I can tell you next week how I went about making money doing hair. Okay? See you next time.